Hello, hello, hello. We are live. A little bit late, running through some kind of technical difficulties, but we'll talk more about that when we dive more into this movie because today is Friday. It is live watch party of the fan requested Galaxy Quest, the movie everyone discovered that I hadn't seen before when I was doing another live watch party, and y'all chastised me, made me feel guilty. So here we are for you. We're gonna watch this movie live. Now I have seen it now, so I do have some opinions, but I did miss the nostalgic train on this one, and I have a couple of guests, maybe a couple of guests. We have Al Seward from Dark Side Reviews. He's joining me. And theoretically, Chris Durban of DURBANIA will be joining us also. He's running through some technical difficulties, so we'll see when he pops up. But if you want to watch this movie with us, it is on Amazon Prime for free, or with your subscription. And I also saw it on YouTube for free. I think YouTube movies or something like that. I don't know if there's ads on that one or anything, but we will get started watching this review in. All right, there we go.
All right.
Hey, Al.
How you doing, man?
Good. Oh, Durban got his camera to work.
Is he here?
He's here.
Did. I don't understand. You know how you have a problem, and if you can solve it, you feel good. I didn't solve this. It just worked magically, and I'm like happy and angry at it.
Well, I have to tell you, sir, I am blinded by the handsomeness.
Well,
I just gotta
thank
say
you.
that.
New webcam, fully high def. Here's the handsomeness to now join you guys as we do this movie.
Yeah, you popped up right at the right time. I just finished the intro.
That's awesome. Good. Wow. Well, I guess this camera has a sense of irony or timing. I don't know. Whatever. I'm here. I'm excited.
All right, cool, man. Well, welcome, Durban. Thank you, buddy. I was getting worried about you there for a minute. When you weren't responding, Durban never not responds right before a watch party. What's going on?
I know. Yeah. Oh, it's been a crazy day.
So here we are with Chris Durban, new Film Trigger friend Al from Dark Side Reviews. We are going to watch Galaxy Quest, a movie that Durban loves.
Yes.
I missed the nostalgic train on it. Al, thoughts?
I mean, I think I'm going to hold off until we start the comment. I have seen it. I have some nostalgic connections to it, but I got some problems too. So,
right on. Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, for anybody who's tuning in, we are watching it. I'm watching it on Amazon Prime. I think Al is also.
Me three.
And as I said, YouTube also has it for free, but it might have some ads or something. I'm not sure. But we're going to start right at the beginning. Are you gentlemen ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, click.
All right.
Oh, geez, I'm buffering. Okay, we're good.
That is the best opening ever.
How many times has that happened to us, Durban?
Oh, remember that one time your internet failed and I was left alone on your channel?
Twice.
Oh, man. Al, the great things you're going to get to join in on now.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Galaxy Quest. Now this movie. Now, one thing I do like about this movie from the get-go is the Star Trek, vibe. Like it's 100% Star Trek. And I even read that a lot of people put this movie in their Star Trek ranking.
Wow.
Oh, there's Sigourney. Yeah, wow, to Sigourney Weaver. But and I'm a huge Trek fan. Like I love Star Trek. I put Trek above Star Wars. Not to start a war in the comments, but if you want,
I'm with you, man.
Good. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right.
I don't know which I like better, but I do like Star Trek, and I'm a new Trekkie. So like I just binged all of Next Generation. I'm halfway through Deep Space Nine. It's fun.
Nice.
So,
Go ahead.
I was going to say it's so funny because I did a ranking video for Star Trek from the series, and I had like Deep Space Nine ranked last, and people were like, "You're crazy." So I like TGN is my favorite. But
I understand where you're at, Al, because I got about halfway through Deep Space Nine 6 months ago and have not picked it back up. It's that was a hard one for me, but I love Next Generation.
Yeah. Yep.
So this movie came out in 1999 before, like when cosplay was more of a super fan thing to do.
Right.
And the thing that this movie does great, it really pays respect to those fans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in a time where those fans didn't have any really, like any, you know, foundation, like, you know, for what they do. Nowadays, cosplay is everywhere. People, you know, go into Comic-Con dressing up like your neighbors, everybody. But
right.
back then, it wasn't so popular. So this movie does pay homage to its fans pretty well.
That's so cool. Because, like, okay, so back in 1999, before all the cosplay stuff, I remember watching this movie and thinking, I want to go there. Like that seems so nerdy and wonderful. I think that says how much of a nerd I am, though.
It's funny now because like it's almost a reverse of things. Like if you're not part of geek culture, you're like not in the in group, right? Like everybody now, is a geek, so to speak. So
well, yeah, I mean everything is starting to be like put from being put into columns. It's starting to bleed into a spectrum of how geeky you are.
Exactly.
Well, sports people are super geeky. I mean, they love the costumes. They keep track of all the numbers, all their favorite players, all their favorite stats, almost the same way I follow all of my favorite comic book characters and their costumes and all their stats.
Yeah. How do you know what, Steve, can I share this on my own page? I see a share button here.
I don't know.
Say hit share and see what happens.
I'm not sure. Like I've never actually been on the other end of a StreamYard live thing. I don't think so. I don't know what that screen looks like.
I'm gonna post it now. It says share to newsfeed.
Oh, there you go. Score.
I think I'm sharing it.
There you go.
All right.
So Tim Allen being in this movie,
I love it.
Okay, I think he does such a great job. Like if they were to actually do like a movie about, you know, the original Star Trek movie, I think he would be a perfect Captain Kirk. Like, he does a good job embodying that role. Like I believe him as William Shatner, you know, just like a movie version of William Shatner.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally see that. But Alan Rickman steals this movie for me. He's so hilarious. The fact that he never takes that plastic thing off his head makes it even better.
And the fact that he hates his character, but he's so devoted to it, he will not take off the cowl.
Yes. It is hilarious. I mean, to me, one of the funniest people in this is Tony's character, Tony Shalhoub's character. He's hilarious.
Oh yeah, I love Tony Shalhoub. But you know, the other one that I really love, and I'll hit more of it when we actually get to those scenes, is Guy. He freaking cracks me up throughout this whole movie.
Guy, which guy is Guy?
The guy right now at the podium talking.
Oh,
like his name is Guy, and then he can't remember his last name.
Sam Rockwell here.
Yeah, that's who that is. I was trying to figure out his name, and I couldn't remember.
I couldn't remember Sam Rockwell either, but I just remembered his character's name was Guy.
Dude, I'll tell you this: Sam Rockwell. I've only liked him in one thing, and that was his role in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. And ever since that, I cannot get behind this guy. I think he was an Iron Man. You know, he was.
Iron Man 2.
You know where he was really good. I don't know if you haven't seen it. I mean, he plays a really deranged character, but I think it was him that was in the Green Mile.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I recant what I said. The Green Mile and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie is the only two things, because his character in the Green Mile, I like his character about as much as I like Sam Rockwell. So I think it was a good
So
casting.
it fits.
I don't know. I can't get behind him. He reminds. I can't pinpoint it, but
I think I feel like with almost everything I've seen him in, and I really like him, and I feel like whatever the role is he always has embodied it well to me. So,
well,
I love that guy, Piper.
Everyone's entitled to your opinion.
True.
But Sam Rockwell, I can get behind him in this movie. Because I remember watching this in high school, Steve, and thinking, I could play that character. And that would be me. Like, I don't remember my last name. I'm the character that dies. Like, that just cracks me up.
No, I could see you doing a good job with that character. I can see you doing a better job with that character. I'm going to start a whole Sam Rockwell hate train here.
Hey.
Well, that's awesome. Now we have conflict in this video for everybody that's watching, because I like Sam Rockwell in this role. Sounds like, Al, you do, and Steve does not. So this is going to be great.
Yeah, I like him in this role.
Hey, speaking of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, there's the guy that played Donatello in the reboot. The tall guy. Where?
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's part of the nerd club that helps them at the end of the movie.
Wow.
He's like the really tall dude.
So now I guess I'm going to be in trouble here because I've never seen a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Okay, you're not in trouble because you haven't seen the new ones. You are in trouble because you haven't seen the 1990 TMNT. You have to see that as soon as this is over. That's what you're watching.
Yeah, that's a must see. I don't know. I mean, Durban, you and I saw that in theaters, right? So,
yes, we did when we were little ones. Really
not
little.
Together, but yeah. So maybe we can. Well, we've already done a live watch party of that one.
Yeah, we have.
So I'm sorry I missed the watch party for The Crow because I really did like The Crow.
Nice.
You see, Durban had never seen it.
Yep. And this is where Steve and I are now opposites because Steve has not seen this one.
Right. But I was, as a Patreon of Durban's on his channel.
This story again.
I requested, hey, why don't you do The Crow? And he's like, sure thing. He watched it and personally messaged me. I don't get it. And didn't do the video. It wasn't until Aaron White requested recently for him to do it.
Aaron White gives it that tier where he gets a video, and you did not give it that tier. I was just being nice because we have a history, and then I watched it and I didn't get it.
Oh, okay, yeah, 20 years of friendship, and I didn't select the right tier. Sorry.
You know what's funny too? Like when you look at this and you see some of the folks that are in the outfits with Comic-Con, there's some folks in that culture that take that stuff so seriously. Like they don't play around, man.
Yeah.
I know a few. I really do.
Well, if I ever get to go to a Comic-Con, I will be in my Superman outfit, and it will have muscles, and I will be serious about it.
Go ahead, Steve.
I've only been to one Comic-Con, and it was by chance. A buddy of mine owns a magazine, Zombie Tap Dance magazine in Columbus here.
Whoa!
And he had a journalist pass, and he's able to go interview people and take behind the scene photos and stuff like that. He's like, hey man, I need some help. You want to join? So here I am, never been to a Comic-Con before in my life, and then all of a sudden I have this VIP pass, and
awesome.
I had front row seats to see Robert Englund, do his little Comic-Con thing, and I'm like a huge Freddy fan, so I'm like, oh my god, yeah, it was a good day.
That is a good day.
Yeah,
it was a press pass, yeah.
Unlike these nerds who just had a really bad day when their hero just cussed them out.
Yeah.
They wanted
their faces.
They wanted Tim Allen's character was originally supposed to actually do what Alan Rickman's character is doing. He's supposed to hate his role, and not want to be a part of anything. But they switched it up. Oh, there's a whole bunch of things that switched up in this movie.
Well, I'm glad they at least switched that part up because it makes so much more sense with Alan Rickman hating his role, but the show must go on. and Tim Allen loving his role because it makes it even more powerful, like right now when he's all depressed.
Oh, well, exactly. It's more impactful, but here's another little twist. Alan Rickman's character was originally supposed to be the bad guy.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense when you think about it. You know,
I guess so.
He was supposed to be like super into science fiction and like wanted to create his own world and all this stuff. I don't remember all the exact details, but he was going to fabricate his own, his own Galaxy Quest reality that he was going to torture these people with, apparently.
Wow. That is fascinating. I'm glad it is what it is, but I could see him doing that, Professor Snape.
Because he's been in other things where he's played a villain.
Yeah.
Sweeney Todd.
Die Hard.
Yeah.
His first movie, Die Hard. Yeah.
I love these aliens.
This scene right there, who is the his name is on the tip of my tongue. He's like the leader of this group.
Oh, yeah, he was in that show Just Shoot Me, and he's done.
Yeah.
Just in Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, I know his face, but I don't
remember his real name. I like him. Every time he shows up, I like him.
I also suck at names, like in general. So like, yeah.
But what's awesome is Dwight Schrute is one of these aliens right there. There's Dwight Schrute right there behind the girl.
Yep.
I recognize the girl too.
Yeah, she's in a lot of Tim Burton films. Mars Attacks, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, and she's always kind of a background character. They actually extended her role. Steven Spielberg watched this movie or watched their first viewing of this movie and said, "Why don't we extend her role a little bit?" And Steven Spielberg suggested is what ended up turning into her love interest at the end with that one dude, that weird.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, Tony Shalhoub, Al's favorite.
Yeah, Tony. That's right. It was Tony.
Oh, okay. That's Tony Shalhoub. Okay, see, I told you I suck with names.
So right here, when you see certain things like this is so Star Trek. This is so like the characters and even their movements. It's so Star Trek, the original series, should I say?
Well,
where the aliens are standing up straight and just
right.
Well, it's such low-hanging fruit of alien portrayal. That's what makes this great because it resonates so much Star Trek, and that just tickles my nostalgic bone.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
But the guy who you guys were talking about earlier, the leader of the group here, he came up with the dialogue with how these people talk. Their accent, if you will, rather.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, well, he did it because it's actually a vocal training for actors that he was doing, and he's like, you know what, I kind of like this for the character, and then they ended up having everyone else do the same thing, So like he unintentionally created their accent. So
fascinating. So you've done your homework. You, who was not the biggest fan of this movie, has all of this homework, and me, who's loved this movie since 1999, is hearing all of this for the first time.
Well, you know how I do.
Yes,
you know how I do. I get obsessive and like to research things.
Now, this is great. I love the fact that Tim Allen passes out, just cold out, and wakes up on an alien spaceship and blows up Sarah's ship, thinking that this is all fake.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, he thinks he's at a press release.
Yep. Or in the garage or whatever it was that the fans were doing that he's going to get paid to do without the crew.
Yeah, that thing. I was kind of reluctant of doing this watch party because the first time I watched this movie, and Al, I was telling you a little bit about the versus idea that I had, like a movie versus another movie.
Uh-huh.
When I watched this, the concept reminded me so much of Tropic Thunder that I wanted to do a versus of this and Tropic Thunder. Yeah. Just the actors being put in a situation that they're supposed to act in, but it's a real, you know, that turns
See,
into
I
a
would
realistic situation.
love to be part of that versus, only because I love Tropic Thunder and this movie, and that would be really, really hard.
Yeah.
I will tell you, comedy wise, though, I would give it a Tropic Thunder was hilarious.
Yes, it was so good. So good. And that's what I was saying. Like, I was reluctant of doing this one or doing a Tropic Thunder watch party, you know, but people had requested I do this one. So I was like, I better stick to that.
Yeah.
But if I do Tropic Thunder, I'm getting Jeff back here. Jeff has been on these watch parties, and Jeff actually used to be a stand-up comedian and is a Jack Black impersonator.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, and he also, like, he used to be in a Tenacious D cover band and everything.
Yeah, I mean, Tropic Thunder is hilarious. That line that Robert Downey Jr. has, where he's like, "I'm the dude disguised as another dude," or something is hilarious. Man,
I think I love it, like when he's like ripping off all of his makeup, and he like falls to the ground, and that one dude stands up. He's like, "Actors, come on!" Because all of their insecurities.
Yeah. My favorite part of Tropic Thunder, you know, since we're doing a Tropic Thunder watch party. You're right there, Durban. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna eat my dinner. If that's
a
okay with you.
burrito.
Yep.
Is that Chipotle?
It is Chipotle. Yeah.
You son of a.
I told you I had to rush out, buy this camera that I'm using, and I was starving, got food, and then, you know, all of my issues to get it hooked up.
But my favorite line in Tropic Thunder is when, like, Ben Stiller's character has convinced everyone else that this is a setup. They're in a movie, and then out of the background, you got Robert Downey Jr. Man, this dude is dead. You know, like, he's like, dude, there's no joking around. This is a dead man.
Yes.
That movie was funny.
And then you have Ben Stiller walking around. This is the trailer shot.
Oh, man.
I love this scene right here, though. I don't know why. I mean, nowadays, it looks actually kind of fake compared to what we can do now. But I love this scene where he sees how real this is.
I mean, isn't that kind of the concept?
Yep.
Yeah.
See, like, I've only watched this once, so I'm actually very curious of what's going to happen here. I don't remember.
This reminds me of the Abyss, that weird liquid going around him that he now has to breathe in.
It's flubber. I forget why did they put goo around him?
To protect him as he gets jettisoned through space in a black hole. Now, my question is, thank you, Laura. If he can jettison through space like this, why haven't they done this more often with these characters when they're in tricky situations later?
Good point.
Well, then the movie would be over.
Oh,
Well, good point.
Durban. There wouldn't be a movie.
I don't remember this part either.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm.
For anybody tuning in, we are at the 1950-ish mark. But as soon as I said that, I started buffering.
Yeah. Is he back? Oh, yeah, he's back. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so him traveling was his evidence. Okay.
Yep.
That didn't look so bad for 1999.
Well, I mean, okay, it didn't look bad for 1999. I mean, now, when we look back at it, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's bad for now.
By Grapthor's hammer, what a savings. I mean, I wish I could give a performance that bad and still get paid.
He looks so disgusted, man. He's like...
And Durban, can I say of how proud I was of myself for actually putting your face on his head for that pic for the thumbnail? Which, Al, I'm sorry I didn't include you in the thumbnail. It was a little tricky. I actually tried, and it didn't work out very well. It was very hard to fit you in there. At one point in time, you even had a blonde wig, and Durbin and I discussed that. No, that's not going to work.
No, well, no worries, no worries. That was cool what you did with Durbin.
Yeah, that's amazing how that worked out. Was that my Quick Thoughts thumbnail that I did, and you just took my face off that and put that in there?
Yeah, the only reason why I did is because you were making almost the same exact face that he was on the poster, and like
that is so perfect.
All I had to do was blend it in. Like your face is fit perfectly over it. It was like magic.
Wow. You did it in Photoshop?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't fit. Mine, on the other hand, was a shit show, but that's all right. You see what you get in that one.
Oh, you know what, Durbin? That reminds me. Speaking of Photoshop, I just price shop some Macs today, and not the iMacs, but the literal like the desktop Macs. I forgot what they call them, but like the big boys. Man, those things are crazy expensive. You can put them on like a payment plan, but I was sheesh. I think like the cheapest one was like at least $3,000, and it went all the way to $6,000. Yeah.
Oh man. Yesterday, Al and I were talking about getting a new computer. I'm reaching that phase where I might need a new one, and it makes me depressed to hear that the one type of computer that can make editing smoother is a payment plan.
Oh, of course. That's how everything is now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
You know, one day I'll do that. One day I'll be a big boy and actually like buy a software on computer and everything like that. And
you edit on your phone, don't you?
Yeah, I edit everything from my phone. All the videos, the opening scene that I did for this video, I do it all from my phone. It's just what I've always done, and it's so much easier I can just zip, then upload it.
What software are you using?
Power Director.
Oh, I have Power Director on my phone. I didn't know it could do all of that.
I pay the subscription. Okay. So you get extra stuff. You can do green screens. You get a whole galaxy of other options for it.
Okay.
A whole galaxy. Perfect.
There's your brony.
See, I love this when guy is like, me too. And now he's like, oh crap.
Oh, I'm way behind because I lagged. I just got to me too.
Okay.
Well, I am 23 minutes 49 seconds.
I don't know what I am.
I'm gonna skip 10 seconds ahead. That should do it. There we go.
And Guy just teleported down, right?
Yep.
We're all there. I apologize if I'm making anybody hungry with my Chipotle burrito, but it is very good.
I still might be like 5 seconds behind, but it's whatever.
Now, I want to know how this works. They are weird squid-like octopus creatures, and they squeal, but then they hit a button, and they look humanoid and speak English. And so what happens to all their tentacles?
Some things are better left unknown, Durbin.
Fascinating.
They tuck it back.
We've seen that before, though. How many times have we seen some creature projecting a hologram, making themselves look like something different?
Yeah,
I mean, look, they even get taller. Then they have to re-pick up their tools, and it's a generator enhancer, whatever. It's like, what is that? Come on.
Is this where you're going to start like trying to explain logic in a sci-fi movie? You know, like how people complain that SpongeBob has fire underwater, but don't really talk about him being a talking sponge.
I do love Tony Shalhoub. Like the more I'm rewatching this, and he comes out of there like that, that's just great.
He's funny.
Like he's in space. It's all strange and new, and he's taking it in stride and even having fun with it.
Like,
see this. I love this concept of how they, in detail, recreated everything from the show. Like that's something that you don't that Tropic Thunder. I don't know of any other movies that have done that where, in this situation like this movie is kind of original in that, right? and they could have went the bad route with it and did like, you know, a Spaceball sort of thing and went all campy and all this stuff. But this movie actually has heart. It actually is like a solid, you know, straight movie.
Right.
Yep. That moment. Guy.
So Sigourney Weaver here, looking fine.
Yeah, that's definitely not Ripley.
Yeah, she chose that cause. She chose, like, when I first watched this, like I wrote some notes down. I'm like, wow, way to over sexualize a female character. And then I found out that that was her idea. She's the one that chose to have the blonde wig and the big bosoms.
Oh.
You know, like that was her idea. She's like, I don't want people to see me in an alien movie and think Ripley.
Right. Which is interesting that you mentioned Aliens, because that is one movie that really has like a strong cult following. And I did not like any of the Alien movies.
Really?
Not one of them.
I am just now diving down the Alien franchise. I'm just now, and I'm actually liking it pretty well. I don't think as much as everyone else wants me to, but I am liking them.
I did it with Cody Leach, and I liked the first one, loved the second one, and I like Alien vs. Predator. That's about it.
Now, so yeah, Alien vs. Predator was okay, but that was different than the other two.
Yeah, and that was just kind of dumb fun. Like, it's not even canon. It's just something that's kind of made on the side just to be fun, and I kind of took it as that and had fun with it.
Right. Yeah, it was funny because with Aliens 1 and 2, and this might seem like a strange criticism, but nonetheless, it's how I felt about it. I literally felt like it was too dark. Like, I had a hard time sometimes seeing the action, appreciating what was going on screen, and that bothered me a lot during both of those movies.
You said Alien 1 and 2?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the point at the time when those came out. You know, they're doing like the Jaws thing, you know, keeping the you know, the scary monster in the dark for as long as they could before the big reveal. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. No, it's exactly what I'm talking about. I guess it gets to me, it was like too much of it. It was like, okay, I understand now, like, things are shrouded in mystery, but once we see them like good and well, you know, at one point, then just let us see them. But I also, it bothers me in films when when action is too fast. I don't like that as well, because I like to kind of appreciate the action that I'm seeing, and like that really bothers me in fight choreography when you have a whole bunch of different jump cuts, this and that, and we can't see the fluidity of the action. That I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
See, that's
if you want to see a dark alien movie, Alien vs. Predator 2, it's like they didn't know what lighting was. And so
there's a second one?
Yeah, they made 2 AVP movies. Oh. And the second one's like Alien vs. Predator Requiem, I think. But it is so dark in every scene, you can't tell what's happening. It's not even stylized like Alien or Aliens. It's just dark. Like whoever put it together didn't understand how to light a scene.
Right.
Well, the thing that impressed me about watching Alien for the first time was the fact that I could not believe it come out, just like a year or two later after the first Star Wars movie. I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so clean. Everything was so well done. I guess that the difference is their budget, but even the following Star Wars movies just didn't seem to have that same production value in a sense. Yeah, like but Alien 1 and 2 both just their practical effects are just amazing in those, and that's what I appreciate. Now, like fight scenes, I'm not huge on action movies. Like I like them, but I don't like study the choreograph or anything like that. Like I didn't have a problem with any of Nolan's Batman films until somebody pointed it out. You know, people just fall down randomly. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess they do. That is kind of annoying. But like, I'm just like, okay, yeah, fast movement, people are on the ground, dead. Got it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
See, I haven't really. I saw one person fall down randomly in The Dark Knight Rises, but I don't like it. Like when I go see like The Bourne Identity, and I'm supposed to be watching this action-packed sequence, and the camera's just shaking all over the place. Or Transformers, I hear loud noises, but I can't tell like who just died.
Yeah. No, I'm a stickler for that. Like I love good fight choreography, and it has to be good. That's why, to me, like I love the John Wick franchise because Keanu did a lot of that himself. So you didn't need to kind of cover for the fact that you had a stunt man or hide the fact that it wasn't Keanu with angles. I'm a big fight choreographer guy. So
yeah. Now this scene is so Star Trek. Like if you go back to Star Trek, the motion picture, the introduction of the Enterprise, this is so that scene. And then right here, that expression on their face as they're just going a little bit to the side.
Yeah, that's
I love
hilarious.
it so much.
But no, this is he's like, wait.
And Guy, go to the right. Go to the right.
Hey, Durban, what's your timestamp?
My timestamp is 32:28. 32:30. 32:33.
This is hilarious too.
Yeah, I love this moment so much. As they're all just, we got to get through this moment. We got to get through this moment.
Well, this is classic. I mean, this that's a real human moment right there. That's
it is.
Okay. Yeah, we're being treated as gods. We are, we're gonna play these characters. Hold up, we don't know what we're doing. We might blow everybody up right now.
Yep.
Oh man, I love that scene.
That is such a great little sequence there. I also love this food scene here because it's the replicators in Star Trek where they make all the food. And so good old Tim Allen, steak and mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
But poor Alan Rickman.
That's hilarious too, what he has to eat. And I feel like that's a like a TNG moment. Like that would be something that Worf probably would eat.
Yes. And he's like the Worf character, right? I mean, I don't just say that because of his head, but like he really is kind of the Worf character of this movie.
Yeah, yeah.
What is it with blue liquid in sci-fi movies?
I don't know.
I wonder if there's some kind of psychology behind that. Someone researched it.
Yeah, I wonder that too. I mean, you got the blue milk in Star Wars. You have the blue, whatever that is here.
This basically it looks like blue Kool-Aid, which is way less grosser than blue milk.
Yeah.
So here's a technical question in this sci-fi movie where we are not to question anything. So they build the Omega-13, but they don't know what it is. They don't know what it does. Nobody on the show knows what it is or what it does because that got canceled. So how through these historical documents did they find the plans to build the Omega-13 and have it actually work and turn back time 13 seconds?
I don't think they know.
Yeah.
Faith, Durban, faith.
Okay, I'll go with faith. I was wondering the same thing about the ticks because, if Alan Rickman's character doesn't exist, I'm sure those ticks don't exist, yet they made it for him to eat. I'm curious about these things.
I guess it's just part of lore that you're just supposed to know.
Right.
All right, so I had a weird moment when I first saw the main antagonist here, and this movie looks so well made. It doesn't I don't get a huge 90s vibe from it. You could have told me it was made in 2004, I'd believe you.
Yeah.
But these monsters look like 1980 monsters, from a terrible sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time translating that in this film. I can't take the bad guy seriously in this movie.
Now, do you think that's intentional to the original Star Trek, the original series, to maybe how the bad guys and the aliens looked in that? Do you think that's an intentional move on their part?
I don't know.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, that creature kind of looks like a Gorn. I don't know if you remember. Like, there's all kinds of memes about the Gorn.
I've seen the memes. I got to go back and watch the show.
Yeah, so I feel like he's kind of like a callback to that. And you see Captain Kirk like giving the Gorn like a karate chop,
right?
You know, and they've got all kinds of memes. So that's why I think that creature is kind of supposed to reflect that.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. It just seems so like extra. You know what I mean? They had a good idea, and then they're like, okay, well, let's add, these ridiculous shoulder pads and an eye patch and crab legs coming out of his head for some reason. It's like, okay, just stop now. Just stop. He looks fine. Just stop.
Yeah, he does. I never really thought too heavily about it until you pulled all that up, and it's like, yes, he does have crab legs for hair. They did go a little overboard with his design, but I don't know. Like, it never bothered me, and it doesn't bother me too much now, because I also thought of Ninja Turtles from the 1990s and the awesome Jim Henson costumes. I was like, I love that callback. Nowadays, it would have been a motion capture shoot, and he would have looked so cartoony.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Gollum looks better than most motion capture stuff done now.
Gollum was great in terms of motion capture.
Yeah. I guess the blue people in Avatar were pretty good, too.
Yeah. And wasn't there a lot of motion capture in
the blue people?
Andy Serkis now in Planet of the Apes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That was all Andy Serkis. That looked really good. Okay, maybe I just should take back my motion capture talk. Because now we're thinking of all these things that look so good.
And 80% of them are Andy Serkis.
I guess Andy Serkis is the key.
He's great, man.
He also did King Kong.
Yep.
I'm concerned, or not concerned. I'm curious rather about how his Venom movie is going to do.
I hope it does good. I liked his Jungle Book movie that he directed. Did you see that on Netflix?
Yes, I did.
That was good.
That was fantastic.
So I have to go back and look at that, but I heard some criticism about that because it varied a bit too much from the original. It was, I guess, darker. People were saying.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Well, it felt different enough. It had a lot of stuff that was similar. So when the trailer came out, it's like, is that a sequel to the Disney live action one that just came out? Like, I could see that. But when you watch the movie, there's similarities because it's the same story. But it is darker, and it's just different enough that, like, it has a few moments where, like, my jaw dropped and went, no!
Yeah, it was great. My son Seth and I watched it. He actually prefers the Disney version better, or more rather. But yeah, that movie just like, it was like, if Jungle Book were to be a live action movie, that was the one that I wanted, and I think Andy Serkis did great with that. But Venom 2. I don't know. I haven't jumped fully on board on that one yet.
Well, I wasn't a fan of Venom 1.
Yeah, I was right there in the middle. Like, if I critiqued it, I'd probably put it near like the C minus side of things.
Yeah, back and forth on the first Venom. I loved how it started, and I didn't like the middle so much. And the ending was okay, but it would have been better if it had a much better middle. So that's kind of my take on that whole thing.
I just wish they would have stuck to the original concept and made it, like a horror style, not obviously rated R or anything, but you could tell.
Tony Shalhoub, again, so casual they're about to die. Sorry, go on, Steve.
No, you're fine. I have to remember we're watching this movie.
Here's a SpongeBob moment. How is there smoke coming out of that engine in space?
Jesus, Durban, stop it.
See, now that I know what bugs you, I find it even more hysterical.
I didn't even know that like that wasn't a thing. There can't be smoke coming out of an engine in space.
I actually have no idea.
Well,
I just said it, Steve went with it.
There's no oxygen in space, therefore you can't have fire. Therefore you can't have smoke.
That makes sense.
Now that's an interesting thing, though. So something's going on because stuff is exploding.
Well, dude, that's every. I just ruined every sci-fi movie for you.
I was about to say, wait.
I don't know why. The way this kid screams, it cracks me up the whole way through this scene.
Yeah, they changed his entire character just so that guy could play it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, who was David Allen Greer was originally eyed for that role.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, and they liked this kid so much, that's why he's a kid in the TV show. They're like, well, but he's so much younger than everyone else. We're like, okay, let's just make him a child prodigy for the Galaxy Quest TV show.
Scream! I mean, I shouldn't be laughing because everything's blowing up, but it's cracking me up.
Now that is Star Trek too, and that's Star Trek TGN, that's Star Trek TOS. Yep. That's just Star Trek.
Yeah, it's a Star Trek.
You watch Discovery, Al?
You know what? I don't still watch Discovery, but I actually like Discovery for all the criticism that it gets. I think Discovery is pretty good, and visually, I think Discovery is fantastic.
I do. Yeah, I finished the 3 seasons. Was it 3 or 2?
I think it's 3.
2. Okay, 3. Well, I watched every episode that's available. So
yeah, I haven't watched. I haven't watched Discovery, so I'm out of the loop on that one.
Yeah, you know what? I started to watch, but I just couldn't get into it. But some of the people over on Dark Side are saying I have to pick it up was Picard. I was really excited about Picard. Yeah. Then I watched a few episodes and I was like,
I enjoyed it. It's probably not the best that Star Trek has produced, but Jean-Luc Picard is my captain. And so I was there for that whole show, and it was pretty good. It wasn't horrible.
I'm a Kirk guy.
What? Kirk over Picard? We're going to have a talk, Steve. We're going to have a talk.
Well, you have to understand, like, I grew up watching, like, the old episodes, just like when I was younger, like I always watched older stuff. I always watched The Twilight Zone. I always watched older TV. Like, I always watched reruns. I was obsessed with them. And Star Trek is a part of that. And I love the new Star Trek movies based off the Captain Kirk series and all that. I love it.
See, my mom was obsessed with Next Generation when I was a kid. So that was the one I watched all the time. And then finally, as a grown-up, when it dropped on Netflix, it's like, okay, well, let me watch this as an adult. There was so much I missed. It was so good.
Yeah, I think what I liked about The Next Generation was, to me, I almost liked everything better, but the characters were more interesting. And you had like really almost 12 different characters on that show that by themselves, you could have just kind of followed their stories and they would have been really interesting.
Yes.
So
like Deep Space Nine got infinitely better when Worf transferred over there.
It did. I mean, my biggest problem with Deep Space Nine is that it wasn't, and people told me I didn't watch it enough, but I've seen them all the episodes several times. But Deep Space Nine wasn't exploratory enough. If you're going to be in space, I need you zipping around from planet to planet, not everything hovering around the space station. That's why I didn't like Deep Space Nine.
Oh, yeah.
I liked kind of the philosophy they got into, and because, Star Trek is so secular. And then they come to this planet where I forget the name of the planet, but they're very religious. So it was very interesting to have a spiritual exploration on Star Trek because we never had that before. But then I just kind of got bored about halfway through it. So I got to go back to it. And I keep hearing it gets better, but I got bored in the middle.
I have seen them all, and I'm still not a big fan of them. But I do see the connection with, I think, Benjamin Sisko being like the emissary or the whoever, but he was like their spiritual. I'm just like, and plus part of the problem is I don't think that Avery Brooks is that good of an actor either.
Right.
So
I don't know. Give me my William Shatner. Give me that old stylized, people jumping from place to place, like even like the TV show Lost in Space. I love that sort of sci-fi. That's
okay.
That's where I hang out.
Yeah, I mean, I think after we got stuff like The Next Generation and some of the stuff that came afterwards, like I can't go back to seeing William Shatner on a planet picking up what clearly is a paper mache rock. And, like, it's just like,
suspension of disbelief, man.
Right.
Like Tony Shalhoub is in a constant state of suspension of disbelief right now as he's trying to describe how to save their lives. It's so great.
Yeah, it's funny because he's like the only one that's really like all in.
Yeah,
he reminds me of like that Chekhov character in Star Trek.
Yeah,
I think that's definitely kind of like who he's supposed to represent in this, for sure.
Yeah, because he's like the engineer, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's even like a I can't find it, but like J.J. Abrams, when they started filming like a certain scene in his first Star Trek movie, he said, just know that we all are huge fans of Galaxy Quest, and like the scene that they were shooting was based off something that happened in this movie. I can't remember what it was, but
I actually like J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, even though I've heard a lot of people give it flack.
I didn't like the third one as much, but I liked the first two.
Yeah.
I liked the first one. The second one just pissed me off, and I enjoyed the third one.
You see, I hadn't seen the original Star Trek movies before I saw the second Abrams Star Trek, so it didn't bother me.
Okay.
Then I went back and I saw all the original motion pictures, and I went, "Oh, okay,
well,
I know why this bothers people."
It bothered me. The second one bothered me in particular because they did such a great job explaining how they can relive this world while telling all new stories.
Yeah.
And then immediately make the second movie.
Yeah.
Like then immediately make the Khan
one of my favorite
again.
moments with Guy is this whole exchange. Sorry, Steve, but this is it. I love this exchange so much.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell actually hopped himself up on like caffeine to do this scene.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah, really? He wanted to make himself anxious, and he said before he did this.
Well, he did a good job. I love that. You have a last name.
And he's funny too because he plays that extra that like he's that guy that that when they go on a mission, he's dead. Like no one knows his name. No one.
Yeah, he's red shirt.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
All right. So this scene here, like when I was first watching this, and then I started thinking of the concept of the movie, and then they're on this rock desert planet. It really reminded me of that episode of Futurama. Did you guys ever see that episode of Futurama where this
I'm not sure
where this thing in outer space collected the heads of all the cast of the original Star Trek TV series?
I did see that episode,
and then like had them reenact, what scenes from the old TV show, and yeah, this entire scene reminds me of that Futurama episode.
Tony Shalhoub came out of that shuttle yawning.
Yeah,
they almost had a crash landing, and he's yawning.
Dude, that guy is stoned out of his mind. I bet. That's the only answer. Like just how nonchalant he is.
I just love Guy saying, "What are you doing opening the door? It's a foreign planet. Is there air? You don't know." It's like, that's the most logical thing you can say, landing on an alien planet.
I love how this entire movie, he never takes off the cowl. He always, Alan Rickman always wears the headpiece.
He had it on at home.
Yeah. He's talking on the phone with Ripley. There he is. He's got it on.
Now, if this is not Star Trek, the original series, like this is just clearly.
Oh yeah, like the fight with Tim Allen and that rock monster is very much a Captain Kirk moment.
Yep.
And he found a way to get his shirt off. Is that Captain Kirk too? Does he find a way to get his shirt off in the fights?
That was a funny scene too, though.
Well, no, but they did find a way for Sigourney Weaver to take off or at least unzip her shirt.
It's actually a deleted scene.
Yeah. You beat me to it. I was just about to.
That's right. There's something I know, Steve, and I beat you to it.
You said that was a deleted scene?
It was a deleted scene. In the actual cut, one moment it's zipped up, the next moment it's unzipped. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess it's continuity error. But there's a deleted scene in there.
She tries to seduce the aliens. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what that, because I was like, what happened there? Like, it wasn't anything that led up to that. and they just boom, it was there.
Yeah. See, this is one place where Guy is right. All of his paranoia, all of his anxiety, a broken clock is right twice a day.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're always searching for negative stuff, you're definitely going to find it. Are they being trolled here? I can't remember.
Did you guys ever watch the show? Oh my gosh.
I wonder if this is, well, I'm sure it's CGI. That's not bad for CGI for when this was made.
No, it's not.
It's not. Like, I was thoroughly impressed with the quality of this movie.
Yeah.
And I guess the crew kind of had a pass when they made this because they weren't being watched by the studio. The studio was doing The Gladiator, and one of the main actors in The Gladiator had died, and they were like scrambling to figure out how to handle that situation. And so, like, all the big bosses weren't paying attention to this movie, so all the crew and everything, they all just did what they wanted. And then when the studio started paying more attention to Galaxy Quest, they're like, wait, what'd you guys do?
That's
You guys made, yeah. And like, the studio was not happy with this movie at all. And they promoted it entirely wrong. They promoted it kind of like a Spaceballs, spoof movie, but it's not, it's a homage movie. It's paying homage to these, to this. And, even I forget who, one of the guys that do the advertising for the, to promote the movie, actually apologized to the cast and crew and said, I promoted this poorly for you guys. And because their second week made more money than their first week, at opening, because they word of mouth is like, whoa, this movie's not what we thought it was.
Right.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Tim Allen rolling through the dirt here. It's pretty hysterical.
Oh, you're in front of me then.
He's a little ahead of me too, but no big deal.
I can pause it for 2 seconds if you want.
No, it's fine. It's fine. The rolls are hilarious. Why are we rolling, Tim? What are we doing?
Because that's what you do. I've never found the actual functionality when people do that in movies, when they roll from one spot to the next, I don't know, when you roll and kick somebody, couldn't you just have kicked them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do love this scene so much. I can't believe there's actually beryllium spheres that exist. If that was something made up for the show, it's crazy that they're actually out there.
Right.
Well, maybe there's a point in understanding that what they call it on the show might not be what it's called in real life.
Good
so
point.
they might be translating, well, this is what makes this work. They call it whatever the sphere, and so that's what we're going to call it because that's what's going to save our lives.
Oh, Jason. I love Guy. Go, leave him.
What a sleazeball. He was casted very well.
Actually, I agree with that. He is a sleazeball, and he was casted very well.
Yeah, I'm surprised, man. I'm really impressed by the CGI.
Yeah, the graphics in this movie are just great for their time,
Yeah.
and they translate well now. Like watching this now, I'm like, oh my god, look at that. That's terrible. I don't think that way.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, the production value of this movie was, you can tell it went to good use.
Now, Steve, I knew about that actor who died on Gladiator, but I didn't realize how tied that was into them making this movie and how they were scrambling to cover that, and this movie got free reign. That's really interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm glad it got free reign because it's great.
So, well, it sucks dude died, but yeah.
It does.
I wonder what would have happened to this if this movie got studio involvement. like it got into that whole sticky situation.
I don't know. Because not all studio involvement is bad, but a lot of times it just turns out to be bad.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Not all studio involvement is bad, but when a movie becomes bad, it's usually because of the studio involvement. Yeah. Yeah, this is 100% Captain Kirk.
Oh, absolutely.
I love this whole scene about him being diced into cubes and trying to figure out if they can actually safely teleport him up. See, this is the only moment, Al, that your guy gets nervous.
Right.
That noise he makes.
Who's shoot, hold on. I'm gonna look this up. Give me a second, guys.
You know how ridiculous he looks
Yeah.
trying to fight that thing with punches.
Harold
Yes, he does.
Harold Ramis was originally supposed to direct this movie. And he backed out because they casted Tim Allen.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Did he say what the problem was?
Yeah, he said he didn't connect. Like, he came out with a movie with Robin Williams many years before that didn't work. I can't remember the name of the movie off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
But he said it didn't work because he didn't understand what Robin Williams needed as an actor. He didn't understand what he needed, how to direct him. He didn't quite get him, And he said he felt the same way with Tim Allen.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
at least it wasn't a fight, right? At least he kind of looked at it, realized what he can do, couldn't do, and made a decision based on that.
Well, kinda. He said, that's why I don't want to cast him. And the studio said, well, we're casting him anyway. And he said, okay, I'm leaving. So
wow,
it's kind of
I
like
guess
that.
There was a little bit of a fight there.
Yeah, a little disagreement.
Now, Steve, did you see all the deleted scenes about this rock monster?
No, I haven't watched any. I haven't watched any deleted scenes.
So one of the deleted scenes that is not here is when they're trying to figure out what to do with the rock monster. So Alan Rickman, as an actor, decides that he was going to method act and get into the mindset of the rock monster. And as he gets into the mindset, he's like, vibrations, they make me so mad. Stop moving. And then, that's where they learn the vibrations are what make the rock monster unhappy. And him being sent into space at the end is what makes him happy.
Wait, what?
Did I say that wrong?
I don't know. I didn't get it. So wait,
it's just
the vibration.
Alan Rickman did method acting in this movie to figure out what is motivating the rock monster. And so he figured out it was vibrations. So stand still right here. But they cut out the rest of it. So at the end, when the rock monster's jettisoned into space, there's no vibration. So he's happy. But they cut that whole thing out right here. It was very interesting.
Okay, now I get what you're saying. I totally misinterpreted what you were saying at first. Oh, let's get his shirt off.
Look at him. He's just taking it off. Like he's hanging upside down, taking it off.
I think I'm going to take off my shirt now.
You better beam me up before I start working on the pants.
If she didn't walk in, he would be dead.
Yeah, it's creepy when you start thinking about like intergalactic relationships.
Yep.
Especially when one of them's a squid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that works.
Yes, he did.
I mean, especially when you look at her and think, dude, I don't know what you're thinking, but she's not what you think.
Right. I don't know how that relationship would work because
Right.
once she leaves the ship, she's nowhere near the hologram thing, right? So she would just be an octopus squid.
Yeah, I think, or was that like a ship thing, or did they have devices?
It might have been a device, and they might have forgot to turn it on.
It has to be. It has to be a device. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it was though, because at one point she was on Earth when she came to get him.
Yeah, you're right.
They were at his house.
You're right. You are correct. Yeah, it's definitely a device. Maybe it's like one of those things like this is getting a little weird, but like, you know, when they're getting down and dirty, like she looks like that, but she's doing things that wouldn't do. And he just kind of digs it. I don't want to know what it is. Just keep
I don't
doing
either.
it. I don't want to know what it is. Just keep doing it, please.
Poor Balthazar.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg actually tried to get these bad guys changed because he thought they were too much as well.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yeah, because he's like what, part owner of DreamWorks or something like that.
Yeah.
People need to listen to
remind
Spielberg.
me of I can't remember what the name of those creatures were from The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
What were they called? But I know what you're talking about exactly.
Yeah. They're like a.
I can't remember, but they look similar.
They're like a steampunk version of those.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
another great movie, Fifth Element.
I
Fifth
do
Element
love
was
the Fifth
really
Element.
good.
It's so weird and so good.
It's really good.
We should do a watch party for Fifth Element.
We should.
But we can continue our conversation about Alien.
I don't know where it is, but I know where it is. It's over there. I can't get it. I actually have a knife from the Fifth Element, a replica knife.
Oh yeah, you showed me that. That's awesome.
The one the dude's shaving with.
Yes.
When they look at the things like smoke you. Yeah, I have that knife. Yeah.
I used to have the Lilu Dallas multipass. I don't know where it is now.
Did it? Was it her multipass or was it?
It
yours?
was her multipass. Oh. Yep.
Yeah, Luc Besson. Is he directing Dune? Who's directing Dune?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I knew it for a little while, but they canceled every movie known to man, so out of sight, out of mind.
Right. I thought it was Luc Besson that was directing Dune.
I think you're right. And I know they're all mad that it's going to have a simultaneous release because it's made for the big screen.
Yeah, but I think that's just where we are now with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Who did you think is directing Dune?
Is it Luc
Besson?
No, it's Dennis
Villeneuve or whatever.
Villeneuve,
yeah. Okay. I knew it wasn't weird enough to be Luc Besson, but I also didn't know enough to say no, it wasn't.
That's right.
Luc Besson likes to do some weird looking stuff. I did not like Lucy.
I loved Lucy.
Yeah,
I love Lucy too.
I just did not get into them. I loved Limitless better than Lucy.
I like Limitless too. I didn't like it better than Lucy though. I thought Lucy was awesome.
I don't know why.
I haven't seen Limitless, but I liked Lucy.
You should watch Limitless, Steve. That's a good movie.
Yeah, he does. He's interesting with how he directs.
Yeah. I like it. It's just for some reason Lucy did not appeal to me, but most of the stuff he does I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
See, now this is where the movie has heart. We've just been through all of this comedy, all of these crazy situations, and then it all comes down to this moment where he's explaining to Balthazar, we lied, because it's the only way to explain acting.
All right. You ready for a fun fact about this scene?
Yes.
All right. So Alan Rickman actually was not a huge fan of Tim Allen also.
Uh-oh.
He didn't hate him or anything. He just didn't consider him a very good actor. And Tim Allen did this scene right here, and after he was done, he had to he was kind of affected by it. Like Tim Allen was stuck in that moment for a little bit, and Alan Rickman, in a non-condescending way, I think, said, "Wow, I think he just learned how to act."
Oh man,
I think he was being genuine, like wow, we're here for this moment, rather than being condescending. But
yeah. But he look at his face here. Like he really is in this moment. Like I don't feel like this is acting. I feel like he's actually feeling this stuff as he's trying to and Balthazar acting like this child here, and the pain that this guy's giving Tim Allen that's got to help.
Well, and being around Alan Rickman's got to help. I mean, the guy is an amazing actor, like off film, just like even before he got into film, he was a very distinguished actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the purpose of the crab legs? Like, is it just extra fingers to pick things up?
I don't know. I always imagined that they would just somehow pick the head up themselves. Like,
oh, so if he gets decapitated, then his head's got little legs and he can run around.
Yes. Yes, exactly. I don't know. That's what I'm going with.
I like it.
And I wonder if they're any good if you boil them.
Here's a classic bad guy mistake that Austin Powers did a great job showing us. Because they should have just been shot right there. Right there. Like they should have been shot here. They should have been shot earlier when they were talking to the bad guy. Instead, because it's dramatic, the bad guys lose.
Right.
Monologuing it.
While you have a chance, you should probably just take them out.
So I used to act, right? Used to memorize lots of scripts. But I don't think I'd remember I did A, B, and C in season 2, episode 17.
No. You still act, don't you? You don't.
Oh,
you
yeah,
don't...
from time to time, but not like I used to when we were hanging out.
Yeah,
I know you were in that episode of The Big Bang Theory. I remember.
Yes, I was.
The comic,
but that was background acting, which is just standing in the background.
Well, you did look shocked when Penny walked in, so
yeah. We all had to be shocked that a pretty girl walked into the store.
No, I used to go to your plays all the time with your family and your mom and your sister. Yeah,
I had some college friends who had never been to any of my shows. Tried to get them to come to them, and they never did. Finally, the one they came to was a first-time director directing Romeo and Juliet, and it was awful. It was one of the worst performances, one of the worst shows I've ever been in, and that's when they came.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's Murphy's Law, my friend. Murphy's Law.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, I used to enjoy going to those plays and watching you do your thing, man. I always envy you in that sense because I could never remember lines. So like I could never do that part of it. So I figured I'd just go hang out with Durban at his plays and piss off his co-actors.
Oh yeah. Steve broke every rule, like saying Macbeth in a theater.
just to watch these people squirm. Yeah, they're weird.
That's funny.
I like the computer voice better in Next Generation.
The woman.
Yep. Who is apparently the wife of Gene Roddenberry and also the mother of Diana Troy, who had that huge crush on John.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I learned that, and now I can't unhear it.
Oh, wow.
See, I love this whole sequence because doesn't it just speak to all the weird, unnecessary gadgets that are weird in all these places you go to?
Right.
There's I think there's a dub. They dubbed her voiceover coming up here.
Yes, they did. she dropped the F-bomb, and they decided they didn't want her dropping the F-bomb.
Yeah, because they lowered it from a PG-13 to a PG rating.
Yeah. So so that's the big dub over they did. And the process called ADR.
But it's not like smooth. She's literally just saying one thing and out comes another thing.
I didn't even notice it.
Well, you're going to notice it now, Al. The glass has been broken, so you will see it this time.
Okay. What does she say? We're screwed or something like that? That's what she does say in the movie, but she said we're fucked now or something like that.
Yep, and you can see her mouth make that shape as she said we're screwed.
She definitely dropped the F-bomb. Yeah. It's what just so you can look for it, Al, when it happens. It's when they open up that one room that has all the contraptions, like the thing smashing. Yeah. The little stop and pause, stop, go. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is Donatello's first call to action before he mutates into a Ninja Turtle then.
That's not Donatello.
Oh, you did? This isn't Donatello? Dang it.
No, it's the tall blonde guy that was part of his nerd herd.
Oh, okay. I get it now. Well, that's less meaningful.
But I was very excited the way they utilized this character. Like, this is what gives nerd fandom, solidity. Like I would like, this is, I could, if I saw this movie when it first came out, I would have been right there like, oh my God, it is possible. Or I would have felt like I was that guy, Yeah.
No, I love the whole nerd culture brought in, long before there was Zoom. There they are all on like Zoom calls helping the heroes, through the ship.
Right.
Except the internet would not have been that good in 1999. I mean, that is probably the biggest fault of this movie. The fact that, he's having these video chats and it would not have been that smooth.
No, it would not have.
Well, that's why they're using alien technology.
Well, Tim Allen's got the alien technology.
No, so does he. Because he.
Well, yeah, but the computer is still AOL.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, it might not be AOL, but something equally as bad from the 90s.
1999, I think AOL sounds about right.
Yep.
See, this is where the movie started kind of losing me a little bit. There's Donatello, that little guy.
There he is.
That. I also believe that's I could be wrong about this, but I think that's Ron Howard's kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
I know his last name is Howard, and he looks like Ron Howard a little bit.
I do find it interesting how just watching those videos, remembering his old movements, and suddenly he can fly that ship like a pro. I go with it because I love it, but just one of those things.
See, this is, but this, like, I don't know. What are we? Are we in the third act now? Like,
yes, we are.
I feel like this is where I got lost. Like when I watched this for the first time, I felt like I just started losing attention for this movie. Like I didn't.
Interesting.
I was kind of ready for it to be over.
See, when I was watching this on the big screen for the first time, I was on the edge of my seat here.
I think it's the bad guys. I can't get behind the bad guys. I don't find them scary at all.
What did you think, Al? Because I always thought they were kind of weak, livable but weak.
I think they're livable weak. Like there's nothing really menacing about them. I feel like they're there to just play the role of the threat, but they're not really. You're not gonna turn this off and be thinking about them afterwards.
Yeah. No, what would make you think about them? Cut off the green guy's head and watch his hair be his new legs as he runs around. That'd be awesome. That could be nightmares.
It could be like an aliens thing. It could turn into a face hugger situation.
Yeah.
And we have elevated this back to PG-13. Possibly are.
They were actually going to do a sequel to this movie.
Oh, were they?
Yep, on Amazon, but it stopped because Alan Rickman passed away.
Ah,
but it was ramping up to actually be a thing.
Wow, that's interesting.
I don't know
wonder
how
if
I would have felt about that because this one is just so good, and there'd be like so much pressure on the sequel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
but
thinking the same thing.
I don't know. To me, there's like Dumb and Dumber 2. Is it great?
Which one?
The you know the sequel, not the prequel.
Right.
It's not a great movie, but I love it because it exists. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like that's probably where this movie would have fell into with a lot of its fans. Like, we don't care if it's great. We just care that we see these people on screen, or we're watching another story with them again.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Ace Ventura 3. Like, I don't care if it's good or bad.
Like they're doing a third one?
I think they might.
He's
I
like
didn't know
old
that.
now.
Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of buzz about it lately, and I
man.
heard Jim Carrey is finally on board with it. But I don't care. Like, I'm excited for it. I know it sounds like a terrible idea, but I'm excited to see Jim Carrey in that light again.
Yeah, I kind of liked seeing him kind of in that light in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie where he's just that kind of big villain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here it is, Al.
Oh, the F-bomb. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see it.
Oh. Mine said the F-bomb. Did yours not?
She said it?
I think so. Like,
No, mine, she said, screw that.
oh,
Yeah.
maybe that's what it was, because somebody was talking and I heard that. Okay.
Well, when you're just looking at her mouth, like, yeah. It's funny that they got the sequence down for the Pounders, right? Because we just saw the show and they were going very slow.
Now, it's funny to me because, like, here, the Pounders look like CGI to me.
Yeah.
They don't look bad, but it doesn't look,
It's one of my favorite lines.
It's a very unnatural movement for them.
Yeah.
Unnatural in the sense of it being mechanical, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know they're like, oh crap.
Oh. And so it begins.
Oh.
See, I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know.
As I said earlier, some things are just better left unknown, Durban.
Uh-huh. Oh, guy cracks me up.
Now that I'm looking at those guns that they're carrying, those also look like the guns from The Fifth Element.
They do.
They really do. Same shape and everything. I expect him to shoot a net out at some point.
Yeah, well, a net, all the other galaxy of things that gun did. What did it do? It did firebomb. If it shot a bullet, it would shoot bullets all to the same position. Rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Oh, Alan Rickman, how I miss him.
He's like, come on, man. Like, dude isn't even here.
See, another moment. You're on this high, and then it brings you right down with this emotional moment. It shows you how much this movie really does have the heart.
Right.
It has heart on multiple levels. It's not just one note.
Yeah. I know. It's just
right.
The fact that when it gets sad like this from a high comedic moment and you're still drawn in and not taken out, it just shows you how much heart the movie actually has that throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like with this guy here, and also with the nerds on Earth, they're kind of the Earth heart, of the movie.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it kind of has an undercurrent of heart. I would say almost from the beginning. You have these highlighted moments here, but it kind of has heart all the way through.
Yep.
Yeah, it does. And the movie's not a bad movie. Like I don't dislike the movie at all. As like you, Durban, with The Crow. I missed the nostalgic train on this film.
Yeah.
It's not a bad watch. And I do respect it for what it is. And if I saw it on TV or something like that, I'd probably keep it on. But it's just not. It's not quite where it is for you. And a lot of people that I know, consider this movie to be, a classic.
It's an interesting thing too, because while this movie does have heart, it is, when you think about it in relationship to some of the other sci-fi stuff today, and I know that this is also a comedy, but it's not as powerful as some of the more modern stuff, I would say, just in terms of how the story is told. I don't know if you all agree with that. It's not a bad story, but it's not a particularly powerful story, even for a comedy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think that's what it's supposed to be, because that goes back to the, two-dimensional, low-hanging fruit of storytelling with the first Star Trek TV series.
Yeah.
That's. See, all of a sudden, now her shirt zipped down.
Yep. Well, that's because two bad guys showed up in there, and then she tried to seduce them, and then Tim Allen shot them when they were distracted. We missed the whole sequence.
Yep, edited it out.
Probably so that it won't be
That's the scene that got removed?
Yeah.
That's one of the things that got removed, yep.
Okay. That was like, what did I miss?
See, I love this because now it makes sense, right? On the show, it always gets down to 1. So yeah, they had to push the button, but according to the Thermians' understanding, it had to go down to 1. Now, why does the leader have crab legs and nobody else has crab legs on their head? It just doesn't seem right.
Maybe it's a disease.
Oh, snap.
Maybe he's got space crabs.
I think that's what it is.
This is the closest we have to Alan Rickman without that cap on.
Look at the headpiece. That's hilarious.
But see, this is cool because it's now they're not acting like these characters. They have become the characters they pretended to be.
Right.
They've absorbed the character. Like they're themselves and the character.
Yep.
And now you can see kind of, like you always saying, how everything has changed. You see how confidently he flies the ship now.
Yep. And now they're going to try to do the same thing.
We have in a lifetime of experience flying ships, but somehow these guys are going to beat us. They've known how to fly a ship for half a day.
Now, look, let's pretend for a moment this was real life. That moment that Tommy looked away and was like, Jason, what are you talking about? They would have hit several mines and blown up.
Yeah, they're done. That's interesting, though, with that makeup and even with the claws. I don't know how they doing that. I guess that's electronic or...
Oh, the facial expressions?
No, the claws on top of his head.
Oh,
that's CGI.
Well, no. None of this is CGI. It's all practical. As a matter of fact, the entire suit is animatronic, but it's on top of his face.
Okay.
So it's like the expert level of animatronics. They have this this layer over his head that is the mask, but in the mask is these many just animatronics that actually help move his face around. show expression and control the the crab legs.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I actually read about that right before you joined in our test run. I just got done reading about that.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm totally engrossed in this scene, and I know exactly what's going to happen.
All I want is for Alan Rickman to rip off that headpiece. It's making me sweat. Like it looks so uncomfortable. I don't know. This movie could have done well with a sequel, I think.
It probably
could have. I just don't know, like, the pressure that would have been on them because this movie's such a classic, you know?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, man. I don't know. I think you probably would have had a lot of people that would have enjoyed it, but then you probably would have had an equal amount to say, why did they even mess with something?
But how would you do it? Like, how would you continue a story like this?
Yeah, I have no idea because the novelty is the fact that they didn't know that what they were pretending was real. And that's like the novelty of this movie.
Yeah, it makes it finite for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just point and click. Oh, poor Balthazar.
I'd like to personally thank Sam Rockwell for doing absolutely nothing to save the crew or do anything at all.
Yeah, but he called out the obvious, right? It's an alien planet. Is there air? You don't know.
Yes,
Well,
he was. All of his. Go ahead.
He accomplished something because he stayed alive.
You are correct. He did a great job standing behind everybody else.
You know, like we said, if this had been a regular Trek show, he would, as soon as they hit that planet, something would have killed him.
Yeah. Yep.
Would not be coming home.
Red shirt for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, Fred. Don't do it, Fred. Don't do it.
Now, I will admit that this scene kind of took me by surprise in that I didn't think it was the alien. Like, that surprised me. I thought dude had maybe lost his marbles.
Oh, yeah. I think I thought the same thing.
I don't remember what I thought, actually.
When I first saw this.
I wish I could remember what I thought, but I have no idea what I thought when I saw this. Other than the Omega-13 is actually going to work.
And it's funny because at this point, I had forgotten all about that.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, then this did its job for you. That's awesome.
It did.
Well, I do remember on my first watch that as soon as he walked in and shot him and revealed himself, I'm like, Omega-13. I just knew exactly what was about to happen.
Yeah. See, it totally. At this point, I totally was not even thinking about that. Like, it just slipped my mind that it even existed.
You know, he is so fortunate that he didn't destroy the entire universe. That it actually reversed time.
Now, why is he the only one that remembers?
I'm glad you asked that because I was about to.
I don't know.
Maybe because he pushed the button? I don't know.
I don't know.
But you know, if that situation got bad again, at least he'd know hit the Omega-13 one more time.
Is it a multi-use thing? Can you do that?
I actually have no idea, but I would try.
Like if you hit it twice in a row, will you go back 26 seconds in time?
Oh, man. They aren't thinking about this, are they? They need to hit it like 50 times, and they could go back and change history.
Yeah.
13 seconds at a time, way more than 50 times.
Oh, well, I never proclaimed to be proficient in math. Now, why didn't Fred stay with the aliens? Why did she have to be the one to leave to go to Earth?
I think was it. I don't know.
That's just a little nitpick.
And in all honesty, he would have been better staying with them. I don't know how well they're going to think to her.
I don't know. No way. I think they're all a bunch of freaking weirdos, and I think she recognizes that. She's like, I'm out. She's like, these guys are freaking weird. She's like, I know that. I've known this was a TV show for 20 years. These guys can't figure it out. Yeah. Oh, 90s TVs. Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there watching that TV screen, and you know what my only thought is? That is definitely not HD.
Right.
It's so funny, man, because I remember the time before HD when we did get that one big upgrade in picture quality, and we were like, wow, this is like fantastic.
Yep. And I remember the first time I brought home a DVD player, and my dad and I hooked it up and watched a movie for the first time. We were like, oh, wow, that picture's so crisp.
Oh, me too. I remember that distinctly. The first movie I ever watched on DVD was The 10 Commandments.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a movie to watch on DVD for the first time.
Oh, I watched it like 50 times. I can't explain my obsession with that movie appropriately.
It's a good movie. Ben-Hur, in that same vein. I love Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
And actually, I didn't mean to do this. A parallel with the 10 Commandments is Tim Allen said that he based his pose as the captain off the guy that played Ramses.
Really?
Yeah, like I forget the actor's name.
So
but like,
look at that. We were talking about an old biblical movie, and it turned out to tie directly into Galaxy Quest.
Yep.
It fascinates me that these people thought this was part of the show because the building is damaged. They're going to go outside. They're going to find their cars are gone. It just kind of fascinates me.
Yeah. Yeah. The fun of this is going to end quite soon.
Yes, indeed. I mean, seriously, how many people were injured when
or
it
dead?
crashed through the wall into that arena there? How many people?
Who was just sitting in their car, in the parking lot?
Yep.
And it smashed them.
Al, can you tell that Steve and I sometimes think a little too deeply about these things?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Was that too
another
deep?
Shipmate?
I was telling Al pregame that I had never found Sigourney Weaver to be attractive until this movie.
Really?
So I've never found her attractive until like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, in this movie, she looks great.
My first crush was the Pink Ranger.
Nerd alert. I never got into Power Rangers, man. I never did. I should have. They came out when I was like, 12 years old, 11 years old or something like that. I was like target market for them. I just never got into it.
What kind of gun is this?
I don't know what that.
And why weren't they using more of it against these guys if it blows them up like that?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is a good question.
It's a really good question.
Yeah, just throw that thing around. That's good. All right.
Yeah, a gun that just exploded somebody. Just toss it off to the side, casually, with a bunch of fans nearby. See, I think they should just consider themselves. Tim Allen remembered what they looked like, so he recognized them when he saw them. I like the way she claps.
All right, yeah. See, like I'm so ready for this movie to be over. like they're just dragging this on. Okay, we get it.
It does feel long now at this point.
You know what I want to see is the aftermath. I want to see them all go outside and react to their destroyed cars and dead grandma.
Oh, Durban. Grandma, no.
Well, grandma didn't want to go in, so she stayed in the car. That was a mistake.
That's what you get for telling grandma to wash the car.
I do like this new intro they do as they reboot the show.
Yeah, and actually that was the idea of the movie, the sequel on that I was talking about. They were going to like have it pan out like it was a sequel, like how they're doing this, like a reboot or or not a reboot. What do they call it now?
Like a next generation or whatever.
Yeah.
Sequel boot.
It'd be interesting if they did reboot this, especially if they had some of the same characters. I know the one guy, he's in a wheelchair now for real. I forgot his name. Oh man, what's his name? The black character that's controlling the helmet.
Oh, Tommy Laredo.
Yeah, whatever. What's his real name?
I have no idea. I just know his character's name, Tommy Laredo.
Yeah, he's in. I remember like hearing his story because he was a stand-up comedian and he had like some kind of accident to put him in a wheelchair.
I had no idea about any of that. Wow. Yeah. Well, that's Galaxy Quest.
Wait, you're telling he's in a wheelchair now?
He's in a wheelchair now. Yeah, he's I don't know what happened, but like something he had some kind of accident and he is in a wheelchair now. Like sometimes he's also been on that show. It's one of the CIS shows on CIS. What's the one with Scott Bakula in it? I
don't know. I've seen. I know what one you're talking about. I've seen it, but I can't remember what initials are attached to it.
Yeah, he's in there and he's in a wheelchair. Really.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
All right. There's Galaxy Quest.
You did it, Steve. Congratulations. You did it.
Well, I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's just not. I missed the train. Like you will never pop in The Crow.
Right. It's true. It's very true.
Right.
But I will pop in Galaxy Quest when I just want to watch something fun and not think.
Now, Al, where do you stand on this movie? Like, I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's fun. I think it's enjoyable. Yeah. This would be, this probably would be maybe my third or fourth time seeing it. I don't know how high I would rate the rewatch value on this though. Especially because I do feel like after seeing it multiple times, it does feel long, like longer than it should be. Yeah, it does. But I mean, I think it's good. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's enjoyable. And I do think it has some nice elements for, kind of a space comedy spoof, if you will, even though I guess they didn't want it to be a spoof. At least that sounds like that's what you're saying, Steve. That was the intent, was it not to have so much be that, but more of a movie. The studio maybe wanted that. The director and writers did not. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like for the most part, fans now take it as homage. Like, I mean, it definitely does spoof and parody things here and there, but it's not making fun of it. It's an homage. Yeah.
Right. It's not making fun of it. Yeah.
Right.
I do appreciate it for what it is. I appreciate why it's there and why people love it. And, it's not nostalgic for me. Just like Al said, I feel like it's a little bit long. A little winded, because this is my technically third time, but I only watched it halfway through the second time. It's just one of those things that second view, I was like, okay, I'm kind of bored with it. What else is on,
Right.
And, if you guys weren't here with me, I would have turned it off a long time ago. But but I've watched it. I respect it, and I know enough about it to talk about it with fellow friends and understand where they're coming from if they're fans, and also understand where they're coming from if they're not. So
Right.
that's where I stand with this. I'm very
So
neutral.
let me ask you, because you asked us, but Steve, what would you have thought if they were able to complete a sequel?
Oh,
Like,
why not?
Yeah.
Sure. I'm never against sequels. Like, people are like, oh my God, why would you do that? No, oh, sure. If it sucks, I won't watch it. It's simple as that. Oh,
We lost Al.
Al said, fuck this. I'm out. I hate sequels.
Well, it's a trade, right? Me getting on board in the beginning was really, really difficult, but I made it. Now we trade off at the end, and Al just jumps right off.
This is the balance you had, Durban. This is the deal you made with the devil.
I didn't mean to make a deal with the devil. I didn't mean to.
You're like, please just get me onto this channel now. At any sacrifice. At any sacrifice. Thanos would be
cut Al off at the end.
Thanos would be very happy with the amount of balance that just happened. Oh,
yes, he would.
There we go.
Oh, okay. He's back. Welcome back, Al.
What happened?
We were saying that it was balanced, seeing as how, I couldn't get into this when we started, and then at the end, it just cut you right off.
Yeah. Like, whoa. Okay.
I just assumed you hate all sequels, and you're like, no, we're not talking about sequels. We're out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I think a sequel for this could be pretty effective. I mean, I don't know. I feel like sequels are always dicey when you've had a first film that's really, really part of kind of pop culture, so to speak. Yeah. It can either go south or it can do well. So
yeah.
As I was telling Durban right before you did your blip there. If it sucks, if they make sequels, it doesn't bother me. If it sucks, I'm not going to watch it. My life will move on. Make the sequel. Have fun. Do whatever. If it sucks, I'm just not going to watch it. I'm not going to get upset about it or get heartbroken or anything. But when it comes to if I heard an announcement for this movie, I would be concerned on the simple fact that I feel like Alan Rickman really carried a lot.
He really
of
did.
This film, and him not being in it would be a huge part missing.
Well, while he was alive and they're talking about a sequel, I'm still nervous because it's I don't know how because this movie's novel. So how do you carry on that novelty in a sequel? But then when Alan Rickman passes away, it's don't do the sequel, because you're right, Steve. He carried a lot. Each of those characters is great. So to lose any one of them would be to lose a huge part of the movie.
So how do you make a sequel make sense? How do you keep onto that novelty?
Yeah.
How about aliens come to Earth and he has to call his friends?
Ooh, that could be a way. So you completely reverse it now. Yeah. And Earth has its first contact, and
exactly. And they're all exposed and. More so than the alien ship landing in Comic-Con. Besides that, but
people died when that ship crashed. Nobody can convince me otherwise. People are dead now.
It's a freaking horror fest outside.
They're inside applauding, and the cast is taking their bows. And yes, there's a horror show going on outside.
Or how about this? The sequel, they're all in jail for murder. Yeah. That's how it starts.
They're hardcore fans, man.
All right. Is there anything else you guys want to add before we click off here and whatever?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, Durban, first of all, thank you for coming, Al. I appreciate it. Absolutely. Al, will you please let everybody, one person watching, just let them know where they can find you, where your content's at, what you're about.
You can find me on Dark Side Reviews on YouTube. We cover TV and film reviews, and we're starting to do some more stuff around pop culture as well. So we're kind of expanding into that space. But yeah, man, that's where you can find me. We'd love to have you guys, and just check us out. You can find me on Instagram, even though I'm really not active as I should be, but I'm trying to be better.
I tagged you on Instagram today. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and Al, thank you so much for joining us, especially on last notice.
that was fun.
And yeah, you're welcome back anytime. Absolutely. I'm trying to build a thing here. Hopefully, a watch parties can pick up. So, Mr. Durban, we know where to find you. You've been on like
yes,
5
you
of
do.
these.
I've been here many times. You find me on Durbania, and you know what I do. So come on over and hit subscribe.
And if you Google Durbania, is the butterfly the thing that comes up first, or is it you now?
I think I'm first or second now to the butterfly. So the butterfly is still up there. Did you know that, Al? That there is a genus of butterfly called Durbania?
I'm gonna Google it right now and see what we get. Let's see.
Oh, Al's gonna let us know what comes up first. The man or the butterfly.
Well, I'm getting you first.
Yes.
Yeah,
you heard it here on Film Trigger. Durbania now beats the butterfly.
Yeah, it was about a year and a half ago. The butterfly was first. Yeah, so.
Yep.
Oh, really?
It's that 9,000 subscriber count you just reached, huh?
And less than a month. My
gosh. Right, and that butterfly, I think, only has like 8,500. So
yeah, so done, done.
Yeah, no, you got top billing, my friend.
Woohoo! Awesome.
All right, guys. Hey, listen, I'm very humbled to have you both here. I appreciate you taking your time and hanging out with me on my little channel. It means the world to me, and it's really cool to have people I could just geek out with. So thank you guys so much for coming out. All right, everybody out there in YouTube world, thank you so much for joining us. And Galaxy Quest, let me know your thoughts, comments below. Love you. Peace.
All right, everybody. Peace.